Today I'm with Joel. Joel, how old are you?
27.
And how long have you been homeless? How long have you been using blues?
I've been homeless for going on 4 years. I've been doing fentanyl since 2016, on and off.
And how'd you get started with that, Joel?
Before I started fentanyl, I had a problem with Oxycontin, the 30 milligrams, and back then they looked very similar to what we call the blues nowadays, fentanyl. And one day my plug happened to give me a fentanyl, and wasn't an oxy, and I did it, just one, and I OD'd, and I was pronounced dead for 37 minutes. I remember when I woke up, I told my mom, unfortunately, that feeling was worth losing everything for. It was that great.
And have you been in treatment? How many times have you been in treatment since then?
Twice.
What triggered you to relapse?
The first time I relapsed because I came to conclusions that I wasn't just addicted to the drugs, addicted to fentanyl and crystal meth, but there was something else that I was addicted to. That was the lifestyle in the hood, the streets. Made a lot of friends, And then the second time, which was pretty recent, 3.5 weeks ago, I relapsed the same night I got kicked out because I was very, very angry at myself. I felt like a loser because I actually tried.
Does your family know that you're out here, Joel?
This time, no, they don't. It's funny you asked that because that's not an actual overdose. And no one knows. No one knows.
Do you think it's time for you to go back to treatment and actually complete treatment and just stay off of this lifestyle because before you lose your life, or how do you feel about that?
Of course it's time. It's just my willpower isn't strong enough, My self-control isn't strong enough. I've tried and I've tried, And that's the thing right there. I'm a firm believer of God, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things in Christ who strengthens me. Exodus 34:10, here I am making a promise for you. For all your people I will do marvelous marvels never before seen on earth. Neighboring nations will stand in fear and know that it was I, thy God, thy Lord, who did these marvelous things for you. I'm not going to give up. I may fall over and over and over, but I'm not going to stay down. I've overdosed 14 times as of last night. That alone tells me that I have a purpose. And whatever that purpose is, I know I'm fulfilling it as the days go by. Whether it's a simple, hi, how are you doing? Being there for a friend. Maybe, and like in this case, this video. Hopefully I can open the eyes of others out there.
Yeah, you definitely have a purpose if you've OD'd that many times, you're still here, right? So you need to make something of it. And you're wearing the cross and you're able to read scriptures. So that means something, right? That means that you have a lot to offer. And you're right, by you sharing your story, maybe you could save somebody out there.
And that's another reason why I'm out here. Remember how I told you I got addicted to the lifestyle?
Right.
I know what it's like to be judged and laughed at and mocked. People look at me so disgusted, like I slapped their mom or spit in their face. Like, And I hate that. Like, us drug addicts, we're not scum of the earth. We're people too. We're just hurting. We're hurting. And we feel so alone because no one is there for us at times. You know? And that's another reason why I'm out here, because it's tough. I want to help my friends. You know?
Is there a pain that you're trying to numb?
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because my main trigger, I did a personality assessment at both rehabs. They both came up with the same trigger. My main, only trigger is loneliness and heartache.
And when I approached you, you're alone, right? You're alone right now. Your only possession on earth is that bag that's next to you, right?
Out here on the streets, yes. I do have other clothes at my mom's house, but I'm really scared to give her a call or go to her house and let her know what happened, you know? But even though that some of my clothes are there, really all together, all my possessions probably only take up 3 of those duffel bags, including personal documents and everything too.
Joel, where will you be? Where do you want to be in the next 3 months?
It's a good question. Somewhere better than here. Whether it's in rehab, my family, working, prison. Prison will be better than out here. Anywhere. As long as I'm purely happy and off drugs, and I can have the strategies to cope with my loneliness and heartache, you know?
So, as I mentioned to you before we started recording, the purpose of this channel is to create prevention through awareness. And by you sharing your story, you actually do want to help people, right? So there's a lot of young people out here. What's the youngest you've seen out here in the streets?
9.
9 years old?
Yes.
And you understand that they don't belong out here, right? Because the streets will
Yes.
will swallow them whole, especially when you're that young and vulnerable. So with that being said, and you knowing that there's young people out here, what would you advise parents or other youngsters that are thinking about living this lifestyle, trying something from their quote unquote friends? What would you tell them?
To the kids out there, even anyone who's thinking about trying fentanyl or whatever the drug is, even marijuana, because that marijuana is a gateway drug. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's all fun and games until you wake up from an overdose, or your friend you've known for 17 years is right before your eyes. She dies in front of you when you're locked up. It's all fun and games when you're smoking in your mom's house, and the smoke from the fentanyl goes through the vents and goes into your mom's room, and she inhales it and she ODs. It's not worth it. What was the other question? I'm sorry.
So I'm gonna say thank you very much for sharing your story. I'm gonna give you my contact information for you to reach out to me if you ever feel lonely, you want to talk to somebody. Sometimes people need mentors or just somebody to talk to, right? Because that conversation might not be out here. So I'll give you my information. We can stay in contact, and hopefully the next time I talk to you, you're in recovery, you're doing better. Okay? So right now I'm gonna go ahead and give you some water, and here's a snack pack.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Joel.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you opening up. I'm gonna say thank you, and I wish you the best of luck. Okay?
Thank you, Art.
Thank you, brother.